we injected the exosome at day 18 in our case, where the severity of the disease was at its most, and the mice were paralyzed, not be able to eat or drink. So we call it acute phase. So we injected randomly 1 billion per mice. This is where we got lucky, because if you inject not enough exosome, you're not going to see efficacy. Then it was week 1. Then we realized that the cage which injected exosome is gone. We couldn't find it. Like a few days before, the mouse were sick. You could see, they are not feeling good. So you could easily tell around these other cages. But we couldn't find it. Then we realized that, where is it? Then we looked at the label. We saw that almost all of the mice are starting walking. So we were thinking this is like a normal cage.
Right.
Is it possible? Then we look at, they were so excited. Then we repeated the experiment again and again, and it worked. My name is Milad. I was the scientist at City of Hope for 2 years. And I've been involved in a phase 1 clinical trial using exosome for type 1 diabetes. And I've been in the field for 8 years now, working with some of the best in the world in terms of the exosome in the exosome field, trying to bring these exosome as therapeutics to the patient. I started my exosome journey when I joined UC Irvine as a PhD student. Our lab was focused on finding out the mechanism of repair by mesenchymal stem cell. We were the first group to show that in the case of multiple sclerosis, we could use that, we could use exosome, not only the unmodified exosome, but also we stimulated the mesenchymal stem cell with some stimulant. With some growth factors. So the more you have basically they inherit their capacity, therapeutic capacity from their parental cell. If you have a stronger parental cell, you're going to have better, stronger exosome.
Okay. How would you enhance the mother cell?
Interferon gamma.
Oh, okay.
Gamma interferon is a pro-inflammatory cytokine. It does have some receptors, bind to the receptors, interferon gamma receptor, and the mesenchymal stem cell, induce some signaling in the cells, activate some genes that are involved in anti-inflammatory processes. So they secrete, more anti-inflammatory molecules and makes MSC more potent in terms of anti-inflammatory.
Right. It's not stimulating.
This is what we wanted, because we want to treat multiple sclerosis, which is an autoimmune disease. So if you want to target autoimmune disease, you want to go after inflammation.
And how were they administered?
IV, which is tail vein in case of mice.
And what is the relation? Like, did you had a certain count number, or how did you count your exosomes, and how did you know the different molecules that were in those exosomes, or did you know?
Very good question. So basically, we got a little bit lucky. So because you don't know when you want to do it, you don't know how many exosomes to inject. You don't know when to inject.
Right.
So let me give you full story. So we initiated this animal model, which is EAE animal model, experimental autoimmune encephalomyelitis animal model. EAE is a gold standard for multiple sclerosis drug development, and highly respected by FDA. And if you want to develop a MS drug, you should at least show some efficacy in this animal model. So, and there are two strategies working with this animal. Some people check their therapeutic modality as a prevention. So the day they inject the mice those toxin to induce the disease, they start getting the therapeutics as well, week 1, week 2, whatever regimen that they have. Yep. Then they show that they're gonna be a delayed progression of the disease.
Okay.
So they call it like preventive, because the idea behind it is that if you want to go after relapsing, remitting multiple sclerosis, you want to stop the attacks before they initiate.
Right.
What we heard from some EAE model expert, that if you attack it when the mouse is severely sick, they are severely paralyzed in the cage, they cannot even eat or drink, that would be better. Then we said, let's go big. We were going to fail probably, but let's go big. So we injected the exosome at day 18 in our case, where the severity of the disease was at its most, and the mice were paralyzed, not be able to eat or drink. So we call it acute phase. So we injected randomly 1 billion per mice. This is where we got lucky, because if you inject not enough exosome, you're not going to see efficacy. Then it was week 1. Then we realized that the cage which injected exosome is gone. We couldn't find it. Like a few days before the mouse were sick, you could see, they are not feeling good. So you could easily tell around these other cages. But we couldn't find it. Then we realized that, where is it? Then we looked at the label. We saw that almost all of the mice are starting walking. So we were thinking this is like a normal cage.
Right.
Is it possible? Then we look at, they were so excited. Then we repeated the experiment again and again, and it worked.
Sorry for the interruption again. To find out more about this speaker, become a speaker on our show, have Dr. Carter present at your event or podcast, learn more about coaching, consulting, tissue allografts, exosomes, supplements, legal help, or how to create $1 million business card and dominate your area, we're here to help you. Just text your name and any question to 561-962-1231. Write that down. That's 561-962-1231. Or go to our website at drrosscarter.com to learn more.
Then we decided to change the regimen in terms of how many to inject. We went a little bit higher and a little bit lower. Then we realized that what we initially injected, 1 billion per mice, was an ideal, number, which we did it just by to be honest, by luck. So that concentration was good enough. But ideally, if you want to do it, you should have a dose response curve stuff to see what is the best dose per mice. But we were lucky to get it right in the first place. Otherwise, we would have spent another 1 or 2 years really figuring out what would be the best concentration of the exosome to put into the mouse.
Now, what size particles are you talking about with these exosomes? You said 1 billion, but I mean,
1 billion total particles. So the size, very good question. We did nanoparticle tracking analysis.
Yeah.
The size that we had was around 50 nanometer to 250 nanometer, 50 to 250.
So a little bit bigger than the standard 150 or so, right?
No, this is the problem in the field. Everybody says, exosome is less than 100.
Okay.
It's not correct. So it's basically depending on the cell type, depending your isolation. Yes, if you filter the hell out of them, you make it pure.
Right.
You probably remove those bigger ones. But we don't know that which are really exosomes, because according to Jon Lotwal, my previous mentor, we have 80 different types of extracellular vesicles, particularly exosome. They did electron microscopy. So there's a lot of unknown still that we don't know, but they are so heterogeneous. The fact that people say they are 30 nanometer to 100 nanometer is like old-fashioned way of thinking.
Yes.
And the way we isolate, what we got as an exosome palette, it was 50 to 250 nanometer, and that depends on the cell type as well. If you start with another cell type, you may get a little bit on the lower, on the smaller size, or on the bigger.
What was your cell type?
Mesenchymal stem cell, bone marrow derived mesenchymal stem cell from human.
Okay, so bone marrow, MSCs, expanded, I assume.
Absolutely, because we needed to get exosome and the yield was low. So every time we had around 40 to 100 million cells to get enough exosome to do all those analyses.
I wonder what that translates into.
To give you a perspective,
yeah.
They produce around, each cell produce around 100 to 500 particle. That depends on the condition, roughly. So each MSC in our hands secreted around 100 to 500 particles, exosome, basically. If you want to back calculate how many exosomes.
Well, isn't that over a period of time though? Like over 24 hours?
Over 3 days of harvest that we have.
Over 3 days.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. Like when you go to Panama, Rorden is using 120 million mesenchymal golden stem cells, right?
Yes.
So if you were to try to translate that in and use a mesenchymal stem cell exosome, how many exosomes would you need to approximate the same dosage from the amount of stem cells that they're using? Is there a way to figure that out?
No, there's no back calculation because you just have to do it. This is what we did at CDR4. So after my PhD, the regimen that we proposed was escalating dose. When you don't know, escalating dose, you put like few million, 1 billion, you go high, till you find that therapeutic window. It doesn't work like you say, oh, I put 20 million cells. Now let's calculate how many exosome, we can inject. The yield of exosome depends on the health of your cells, the condition of the cells, the type of the cell, the isolation method, characterization methods. So it's really, we cannot back calculate. We might be able to do in the future where everything is streamlined, everything is standard. So we have a standard protocol for a stem cell, a standard protocol for exosome. Yes, in those scenarios where everything is optimized, you can back calculate.